All right, when you think about the most common sentences that we say in Spanish, sorry, in English, but this also applies to Spanish, what are they? We typically talk about things that let me just make the text a little bit bigger, things that we have to do, things that we want to do, things that we can do, and things that we're going to do. So it would make sense to learn how to put sentences together in Spanish that use these sorts of phrases. To have in Spanish is the verb tener, and to have to will come with this que. Okay? And we're going to cover how to actually use these, but I'm just introducing it right now. Want to do is going to be the verb to want, which is querer, and then whatever the other verb is, it's going to be the infinitive, and we'll cover what that is, don't worry. This will also come with the verb infinitive. We'll cover all this. Okay, so don't worry if you don't know what this is. The verb to be able to, which is what we use to say I can, you can, he can, whatever, is poder. Okay, if you need a memory trick for that, poder is also the word for power in Spanish. Él tiene poder, he has power. So think about it. If you're able to do something, it's like you have the power to do it. So that's why they're kind of related. So the verb poder is to be able to, which is like I can, you can, etc. Plus the verb infinitive, whatever it is that you can do. So yeah, we'll go through examples. And then this is to go is ir, and then it'll come with the word a. Just like the tener one comes with the word que, this one comes with the word a, and then it'll be the verb infinitive. So how do we actually use this? So I'm going to show you. Okay, so here I have an exercise that I put together for my students. On the right, it's kind of cut off, but we have the drop down. Let me just move this screen a little bit. So it shows tener que. It's very small, but this first one is tener que. These are all examples of how to say when you have to do something. So like you have to open the door. Like I said, the way the formula works is it's tener. So you're going to conjugate this verb. What does that mean? It means depending on what the subject is, whether that's I, you, I have to, you have to, he has to, she has to, we have to, you guys have to, or they have to. Okay, those are all the subjects in Spanish. If you don't know them, look them up on Google, ChatGPT, another video on my channel. That's not the point of this video. Hopefully you already know what a subject is in Spanish. And then you conjugate the verb tener for the subject. So tú tienes. And then it'll be tú tienes que, because that's the formula. So tener conjugated plus que plus the verb infinitive. So whenever you're saying you have to do whatever, there's a verb that comes after it. There's some sort of action. You have to open, in this case, which is the verb abrir. And you're not going to conjugate it. Okay, so it's you have to open. Tú tienes que abrir. You have is tú tienes. Where's my mouse? Tú tienes. And then the que is just part of the formula. It's going to be after the tienes and before the verb infinitive, whatever it is. In this case, it's to open, which is abrir. So if you don't know already in in English, the verb infinitive, this just means like the unconjugated form of the verb. So like the default form. So like to run, to go, to have. Okay, in English, the infinitives have a to. That's how you know it's the infinitive. In Spanish, they end with either er, like correr, ir, like ir. Let me change this to speak, or ar, like hablar. And these have different endings, but we're not going to go into conjugation patterns. But if you want to learn them, look up present tense conjugation patterns. That's what you need. You need to know how to conjugate verbs. But assuming you already are familiar with that, then we'll go back to this exercise and we'll just do some examples. So for example, you have to open the door was tú tienes que abrir la puerta. And again, the verb infinitive in English is to open. You can see it there. It's the verb infinitive, to open. And in Spanish, it's, like I said, it ends with ir, in this case, the verb abrir. That's how you know it's the infinitive. Because if it was conjugated, it would be like yo abro, right? It would be yo abro, or tú abres, él abre, nosotros, whatever. We're not going to keep going. But those would be the conjugations. So because it has this ir ending, that means it's in the infinitive form, just like it is in English. We conjugate have, you have, he has, right? Those are different. You have, he has. So even in English, we're conjugating the verb, the first one, to have. I have, you have, he has. That's a different conjugation. It's the exact same thing in Spanish. The conjugation depends on, is it I, you, he. So you'll see for the next one, if it's not you, it won't be tienes. So let's see. For the next one, what is it? The next one is they. So it's going to be tienen. Again, we're not going to cover how to conjugate verbs because that's not the point of this video. You can figure that out on my channel, on another channel, wherever you want to figure it out. But learn how to say somebody has to do something. That's a very common phrase in both English and Spanish. We just talk about that a lot. Things that we have to do. So again, it's the same formula. We conjugate tener, in this case for ellos, which is they. Ellos tienen que, and then again, the verb infinitive. Arrive is llegar. In this case, it's an AR ending. Right? So that's the infinitive. To arrive, llegar. Obviously, you're probably seeing, you're going to have to know a bunch of verb infinitives. It's just the name of the game. There's going to be a lot of memorizing and learning a language. So whatever, flashcards, exercises like this, you're going to learn the verb infinitives, right? Look them up. This is what I did. I would write out a list. Llegar equals to arrive. Llevar equals to carry, right? Let's see what the next one is. Abrir is to open. To wash is lavar. So he has to. Él tiene que lavar los platos. Right? So you get the point of how to do tener que. So some of the other common sentence things that we talk about are to want to do. So this would be querer with the verb infinitive. There wouldn't be a word in between it like que. It would just be, so let me show you an example. It would just be, he wants to play. So to play is jugar. He wants is él quiere. So it's él quiere jugar. Let's do the next one. To swim is nadar. Again, just vocabulary. She wants is ella quiere. So putting it together, ella quiere nadar. Because again, the formula is conjugate querer for the subject. In this case, it was ella quiere, she wants. And then just put the verb infinitive, nadar, to swim. You don't got to worry about conjugating that one. Makes it easy. So next one, he wants to buy. To buy is comprar. He wants is él quiere. So él quiere comprar. And then you also learn how to say car if you didn't know that. It's either coche or carro. There are synonyms just like there are in English. So yeah, to clean, limpiar. So nosotros queremos limpiar. So I think you get the point. So we'll do poder next. So he can carry. So él puede llevar or cargar. Again, synonyms. You can call later. Tú puedes llamar. Again, llamar is the verb infinitive for to call. So that's the same formula. Poder plus the verb infinitive. So we're going to conjugate poder. In this case, it was for tú. So tú puedes. You're just going to have to learn the conjugations of these verbs. Poder conjugates the puedes. And llamar is the verb infinitive for to call. And then más tarde literally translates to more late. Because in English, to say there's the word late, and then to say more late, we would just say later, right? We would add an R to the end. In Spanish, they're very literal with it. They just say literally more late, más tarde. That's how they say later. We can learn together, so podemos aprender, and then you might not know the word together. You check your answer and you realize it's juntos. So nosotros podemos, that's the conjugation of poder for we, right? Nosotros podemos. And then you just throw in to learn, which is aprender. Again, you just have to know vocabulary. Okay, and then the final one is very useful, very, very useful, ir and a. So in this case, you're going to have, I'm going to swim would be, you conjugate ir. Okay, ir is a very irregular verb. The conjugations are yo voy, tú vas, él or ella va, nosotros vamos. Maybe you hear people could go, vamos. That means, let's go, come on, we go. That sort of thing. Ustedes van, you guys go. Ellos van, they go. So if you want to say, I'm going to swim, Yo voy a nadar. Okay, that a is there just because it's just the formula. Deal with it. I know it's annoying. You have to memorize a bunch of stuff, but it just is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta memorize. With tener, it's gonna be que. It's not gonna be tengo a nadar. It's gonna be tengo que nadar. I have to swim. With I'm going to swim, it's voy a nadar, not voy que nadar, right? So with tener, it's gonna be que. With ir, it's gonna be a. I have to, tengo que. I'm going to, voy a. Right, and then there's the verb infinitive. Nadar, cocinar, to cook, right? Because cocina is the kitchen, so you can kind of memorize it based off that. Cocina, kitchen, cocinar, cook. Yo voy a caminar, I'm gonna walk. Let's do some examples from my exercise that I have here for my students. We're gonna study. So, vamos is the we conjugation. Nosotros vamos a estudiar juntos. Let's do the next one. Whoops, okay. You're going to read. So, tú vas a, and then to read is leer. Tú vas a leer. Or just vas a leer. Because you can drop this subject in Spanish. Because the conjugation already tells you what it is. He's going to play. Again, to play is jugar. So, él va a jugar. Next one, to top things off. So, to help is ayudar. So, she's going to help. Ella va a ayudar. Ella va, we're conjugating ir for ella. A ayudar. So do these sorts of sentences and you'll really open up a lot of Spanish, because a lot of things that we say, both in English and Spanish, are, like I said, related to I have to do this thing, I want to do this thing, I can do this thing, or I'm going to do this thing. You learn how to do these automatically by getting in a bunch of reps with sentences like these. And you're going to learn a bunch of verbs, like to travel is viajar, mañana is tomorrow, and you're just going to learn that sentence structure of like ir, conjugated for the subject, in this case ellos, and then there's an a, that's just part of the formula again. So yeah, I think I'm going in circles, you get the point, but by doing this, you're going to start to put sentences together in Spanish a lot more easily. Anyways, if you want to learn Spanish using exercises like these, which I use to become fluent, check out my community in the description. Anyways, I'll see you there.